Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our special double feature Twitch recap from the last 2 weeks of Twitch streams. Many apologies on not being able to get these out on time. The first part of this is kind of prototyping an idea I had for continuing the mission with Rosalina Memorial Station and Tremonia Station, and the core of it is bringing down a rover inside crates to be assembled on the surface based on what we learned on the surface of Mars more than once at this point, and basically being able to hit a couple of different biomes that were very far away from Rosalina Memorial Station, leaving the rover and then ascending back to Tremonia Station, transferring the data over, and then eventually landing it down on our surface laboratory at Rosalina Station and getting the research done there. So I wanted to see if we could fit all of the necessary components to build a successful science collection rover into 4 crates, because that is what the Lunar Uber 2 has space for, and be able to successfully ferry it down to the surface and assemble it there. So the first part of this was seeing if we could get all of the parts into crates, 4 of them, obviously, and then how successfully we could try to assemble it on the surface. So with all of this prototyped out, I will turn you over to old me, who's going to be doing some dry runs on the surface. Come on, render. There we go. Bounce, sync. Dang it. Whoa. Hey there, buddy. We can wiggle. Yeah, should have seen that one coming. So I wonder if we can just stack our crates on our rover and go from there. Inventory. Yeah, we'll just we'll take the wrench. Why do you have? Well, all right then. Not that you need it or anything. Equip, close, close. Yeah, this works. This works real well. This is you could simulate lunar gravity with the cheat menu. I could. There's just not much point for this test. This is really just to see if we can build it. And honestly, it looks like we might just be able to push this dumb thing off the runway. This is obviously the easiest solution. I just need to be able to see the ground where we're building stuff. So I'm going to detach this rover. We're going to try to build a decent replica of it and see if it works. Because based on all the Kerbal attachment system we've been using on Mars, I think this is absolutely a viable idea. I just wanted to see how well it would work. And this, folks, is why you always set your handbrake when you park your car. Some Kerbal ne'er-do-well could just come along and push it out of its parking spot into anywhere else, like we used to do with this Volkswagen Beetle that a classmate of mine in high school had. This is going to result in explosions. Well, that'll make SimG happy. And that's all that matters, is other people's happiness. Maybe IKEA isn't the best name for a rover, legal reasons and stuff. Amuna rover. I would say, if somebody wants to sue me, tiny little me, over an IKEA rover, no, I should be more careful. Okay, here we are. Let's grab this crate and set it down. Please don't explode. Okay, so we need to develop a procedure for this thing. And it probably doesn't start with that one. Alright, so I guess I'm going to have to write down the procedure based on other things. So I actually wonder if maybe just starting with a cubic octagonal and stacking from there is the better idea. I've never actually built something from scratch before. It's always been you know, taking parts of things and putting them together. But we had like a framework, you know? This is very different. And oh, yeah, good job. Inventory, not what we're looking for. Inventory, not what we're looking for. Inventory. There's the core. I was probably looking at that a while ago. Oh, this is going to have to be node attached, isn't it? Why you no attached to strut, friend? Well, this is interesting. Alright, Mark. Well, thanks for coming by and hanging out. I do appreciate it. We're not getting any love on this node at all. Maybe we'll just have to put that down first and then attach things to it. Sucks, but if that's what we have to do. Is that crooked? That's totally crooked. Dang it. Why do I keep hitting the wrong key? Totally crooked. I think you may need more than 20 minutes to do this. Yeah, probably. In retrospect. Although we could build this like this, and that does free us up some room. And expand our center of gravity a bit. Surface attached, there we go. Yeah, I think that is a much better option. Oh, there's a doggo. Hey, doggo.
Hey.
Aim the camera function may help hide. I don't know if I have an actual aim camera function. There was no focus camera function on 1.1.3. So I think we're just kind of stuck with it, you know? Meh. Well, let's see if we could build a functional rover of any stripe, and then we'll worry about making it look good. Aim camera was added in 1.2.2. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I've never had the ability to aim a camera at anything. Much to my chagrin. Okay, those actually might be even. That's pretty cool. Where is that other long chunk? If we get a good wheelbase going. There we go. I have 2 long chunks. Oh, come on. Really? You're going to do this to me? You know, that might be good enough. Let's just do it. No. No, that was absolutely not good enough. Detach and grab. Let's just bolt you. Attach there. Let's grab this other one now that one's bolted on pretty cleanly. Way to go. Yeah, attaching things to the... Yeah, like if I were to... You know what? Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Come on, KSP. Let's just bolt you up here for a second. And that one is there. Bolt U. Excellent. It looks like Ant Queen. You are to choose dash node. Yeah, the only nodes on this thing are here and here, which I don't particularly want to use just yet. Or really, yeah, see. And that is just never going to align the way I want it to. So I don't know why there's no node here at the bottom of this thing. There really should be. Surface attached bottom, nothing. Surface attached top, or node attached top, nothing. Thanks, dude. Okay. For right now, you hang out here. We're gonna put another thing. Grab you. Really? That's what we're doing today? That's what we're doing today. Alright, fine. You can go there. Might as well get the chair on it, right? Ta-da! Wheels not yet. Okay. Inventory. Is that little guy... Oh, jeez. Really? Really, Crash? Really? That's what we're doing today? Just get this guy out of the way. Alright, and then grab you. Attach to here. Very good. And then time to bring up the jack stands. Alright, fine. Whatever, however you want to go about this is fine with me. How far is this going to fling this dumb thing? Okay, that wasn't terrible. How bad is this going to screw up? Oh. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Please no explosions. Please no explosions. Bounce. Recover. Nice. Okay. Force closed. Let's switch sides here. Although I think those wheels really do not like this much weight. Yeah, it's the suspension is so struggling with this. Eek. Force open. You know what? That would have been smart. Maybe I should build it upside down and then use the antennas to flip it over. Although, should I be concerned that it's just walking away? It's supposed to roll on the wheels. I should probably jump in and set the brakes. Might be the other thing. Those wheels are not at all even. Oh, good. Force closed. Maybe I should build like a stand for it that I can just remove. We'll see if this makes it blow up. Nedzarek, how's it going? Welcome. Glad you could come by. We're seeing how much we can abuse the Kerbal attachment system. And trying our hand building a rover from crates. Crash put the core on sideways. I bet I did. Why didn't that? Oh, there's the collision registration. Finally. Inventory. All right, there's our other two wheels. Go. It's a good thing that core probably won't be in charge of anything. We can hope anyway, right? Infield training for further Mars landings. Really, it's taking lessons from our Mars landings and applying them to hopefully being able to scoop some extra data from biomes on the moon. But anything done on the moon is really just a proving ground for things that we're going to do on Mars eventually. And honestly, we can ship rovers or better things to Mars in crates, then oh dude, that's gonna change the way we do. Why would you? Well, yeah, this makes me feel good about life. Get it? Oh god, this is. Well, here is our space hoopty. Let's take this off. H. Oh god, it's so bad. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Transport Kerbals and crates. Hey, it's rolling. The tailpipe's dragging. The heat doesn't work. Well, I mean, it's not awful. Did you accidentally build a lowrider? Well, I mean, all the suspension is completely shot. It just, yep. None of the wheels are on straight. Similar bouncing rovers from GTA San Andreas. Yeah, it's not great. It's certainly it's functional. Oh god, these wheels are terrible. Alright, I want to see if it's just this rover or if the one we built in the spaceplane hangar is equally as terrible. So we're gonna jump in here. Board. I like how this is our diagram. Couple. This is our diagram of what to build, and that's what we built. It looks nothing like this thing at all. I would say, yeah, see the suspension travel on this one isn't nearly as bad. Well, until you hit the brakes. That's probably an issue. A good time to test things. I wonder if it's just because this has 6 wheels on it and the other one only has 4. It's just that more, right? More than the Mars base. I'm looking for lowrider meat. It's right here. Oh, boink. Oh, should have done the other one. Let's see. Force open. Oh. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need fore and aft. I really... God, I want to bring the other wheels because they're just so much better. Yeah, see, this thing... Oh, come on, KSP, you're killing me here. Just kind of hangs out. It's terrible to drive. The wheelbase is tiny. This thing, what is this thing doing? It's just like, what is going on? Maybe if we adjust the suspension settings. No, we just have friction control and traction control. We have to adjust those in the VAB. Because this thing is awful. Like, there's no way we're gonna... There's no way we're taking this thing across, you know, possibly hundreds of kilometers on the moon. I mean, maybe the suspension won't be so screwy on the moon. But I doubt that very seriously. I just thought about that. Kerbal jousting on rovers. Oh my. That really should be a thing. Alright. Let's revert to the spaceplate hangar because it's easier than taking this thing apart and starting over. So, like I mentioned, I think a lot of the problems here are just that these wheels are not built to handle a Kerbal and the necessary weight. So I know that the larger wheels will not fit in one of these crates. They will, however, fit in these big round ones, and we can fit 4 of them in there. It's just a matter of building an adapter bit for Lunar Uber 2 to take this big container down, in addition to 4 crates, which might be taxing. We'll probably have to bring a little extra fuel as far as that is concerned. And then there's, of course, the problem of getting it out to the station to begin with. So with that prototyped out, we're going to try to start building some things. Bounce. EVA. Where's the tool? And this one, inventory. Yep. Inventory. Swap. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have to push this into the dirt. Well, we're not as sunk into the concrete. Maybe we can just build here. Let's give it a shot. Oh, bring me some food, Pulsey. I have not eaten today. I had a very easy, quick brake repair to do on Lady Crash's car today, and it ended up taking literally all day because, well, most of it was just because I'm dumb. Like now, when I meant to attach something and instead I just drop it in the vicinity. What? Why can't you attach this thing? Oh, so you don't have a tool equipped. That was dumb. See? Continuing my trend of just having a real dumb day. Just real dumb. Alright. Attach. Excellent. Attach. Excellent. We got 2 more of those. I wonder what we can do with just 2 of them, however. Don't know if this wheelbase is actually going to be long enough, and yes, of course you would be offset a whole lot. Let's try that. Is that actually straight? I doubt it, but Kerbal attachment system. Meh. If we can get a solid frame assembled, then maybe we're in good shape and we can trust ourselves to do this on the moon. It's a good place to practice, I guess. Probably. I'm just not ecstatic about having to bolt this thing through docking ports to the top of the lunar Uber and then trying to land it on the surface, plus a bunch of crates full of stuff. You don't have what I'm looking for, do you? Yeah, that's good enough. We'll try that. H, attach. Are we on straight? Not even in the slightest? That's fine. Let's put wheels on it. I wonder how well any of this is going to actually go, or if this is just a really, really terrible idea. Is it easier at some point just to fly a rover down? It's really hard to gauge if the wheels are even. I'm not sure I'm actually doing this well at all. But it looks like things are attaching pretty decently, I suppose. I don't know. Okay. So I guess we should try to flip it over. This is for style points, not ease of use. Oh yeah, this is angled in entirely the wrong direction. Of course it is. Okay, that should give us a little kick. Bounce, and force open. Oh, of course the antenna got caught. Oh, well, that worked out. Oh, no. Let's try this again, shall we? Obituary of the day got stabbed by Computron. Oh. Come on. Land right side up. Yes! What? Brakes. Oh, this is really interesting. The suspension travel thing is happening here too, even though these wheels are supposed to be so much stronger. Oh god, do they have a universal forward and backward? No, I'm pressing W. Problem. Got a blast. Yeah, steering doesn't really seem to be a thing. Oh, that's interesting. So this core is probably like the worst core, because I think it's considering that our forward axis. And so half the wheels are, is the battery dead? No. Well, that's interesting. Let's change vessels. Whoop, nope. Oh, good. Okay, let's go put a chair on it. I think you can reverse the motors. Oh yeah, we can. I'd make a foldable rover with IR parts. Cracking bait. Used one back in 1.1.3. It worked decently. Only had to be careful when going over 15 meters per second because the suspension was wobbly. This project is the definition of crash engineering. Perhaps. Can we fit a command chair in our inventory? Oh yes, we can. We can just tuck it in our pocket. That's even better. Like I said, this is a theory. I just wanted to see if it could have possibly been a thing. Not that we're married to it or anything. Because it does seem to have a whole lot of very interesting issues. Alright, so I think, no, let's go to regular mode. Yeah, alright, and now we have control from the seat, which is what we want. This actually gives us solid control axes. Although, man, torque limiting these wheels would be a great idea. Way too much power for what we've got. Foldable lawn chair. Whoa! Steering not so accurate, but man, these wheels are gonna make things absolutely a necessity. And that sucks. Alright. Revert. Spaceplane hangar. I think we've got what we need to maybe start putting it in the bay of a Shuriken. So after a somewhat more successful test run, and I think a lot of the problems with the rover and the bouncing has to do with the orientation of the controller core, although it does warrant further investigation, so I do plan on doing some of that off-stream. Anyway, this is our Shuriken Mark 6C for cargo variant. We've seen this fly before, launching 2 missions to Venus, and it does have oodles of cargo space. And we can still bring 3 crew to satisfy a 3 crew to low Earth orbit contract. So we're going to start to build out the adapter bit that would go on the Lunar Uber 2, probably on the top, because that's the only place where there's a docking port. So we will need to bring some extra fuel to make up for the kind of abundance of weight, I guess. And probably some small life support containers. These are designed to go on the rover itself, just to extend their endurance on the surface of the moon. Maybe give us an extra structural bit to work with. When it occurs to me that part of this plan involves launching on the Shuriken, taking it to Kauai Potato Station, attaching the adapter bit to either Nemo or Dory, and then ferrying it out to the moon via that craft, and then attaching it to Lunar Uber for its expedition onto the surface, which begs the question, will this fit on the docking port that is already on Nemo or Dory? And, well, we do have a way of checking that, as we have a new rear section for Nemo to upgrade into the 4-engine variant that is Dory, and it looks like the answer is probably no. Those engines are going to be firing into the container itself. Yeah, it's certainly not ideal by any stretch of the word. The other option here is that we could attach a docking port to the nose of Nemo or Dory and push it out there which is a viable option. I just, with all of my experience with docking ports and Kerbal attachment system recently, I don't think it's ideal, but it warrants some consideration. So if you've got any input on that, please leave it for me in the comments below. I always love hearing input from all of you out there. So that was it for this live stream, and moving on to last week's live stream, we did do a couple of logistics. It was kind of a logistics stream to start out with. Here we are with our Callisto lander. In orbit of Jupiter currently, has to make a plane change finally, nearly a year and some coin after making its orbital insertion at Jupiter. So we will get the craft oriented around quite slowly, and then eventually firing up that AJ-10 to make this 200 some odd meter per second correction to get us in plane with the Jovian moons, and get it set up for its first series of flybys. We have a periapsis down near Io, so we'll start doing our braking there. The experiment here was to see if being closer into the orbit we could benefit from the Oberth effect of being lower around Jupiter versus using a moon with higher mass. So that was the first part of that, and then we would continue on to launches for Venus. About 40 days later we came into a Venus window, and we will start off with the Dionysus love truck. It's a very simple rocket. What's that, a 180? Yep. Alright, so I mean, I should trust that everything here is organized well. I know that it's probably a lot better off than I am, just based on prior experiences. Okay, let's go get our target of the moon, and get this thing on path and on its way to Venus. Set this target, Mech Jeb, rendezvous planner please, 32-degree inclination, and falling. That's awesome, we don't have that long to wait. Let's give KSP a heart attack while changing views in the middle of all this other nice stuff. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, too much, 2, 1, too much. Okay, so lob it is what you're telling me. SAS is on, throttle is set to full. I hope we... damn it. Toggle pump. Toggle pump. Come on. I should have checked this. I've done it on a DN series too, where the implications are a lot more grave, but lipstick rocket. It's a good flight profile as a challenge. Oh, good. Alright. Thing with long burning upper stages, when you think you have a high enough atmospheric booster set, add another 50 kilometers. And CNC was cool. Yeah, it feels less unique the way the RP-0 late game feels less unique. Fair. Oh, hey, we're filled up. Let's SAS is on. Throttle is set to full. All right, time to fly. Ignition sequence start. Clamps off. We're away. Okay, let's tuck away Kerbal alarm clock. Let's pay attention to numbers, Cosmo. Move this stuff down and out of the way. Haven't flown things in a good long while. 1.35 currently, 6.4 left, and then 5 kilometers per second in the upper. So here we go. Range safety. Go ahead, let's go Centaur. Go Love Truck. Love Truck is go. Down to 5, let's hold it there, and let's lean into this, shall we? Oh yes, roll control. I don't know why I had to verify that. It's a twin nozzle engine, of course it has roll control. Don't be an idiot, Cosmo. Let's also mind that relative inclination there, home slice. And mind your prograde vector. Oh, jeez. I can't pay attention to even one thing at a time, let alone two. So I apologize in advance for the impending RUD that will be Love Truck. It's gonna go somewhere. Just how much of it do we intend to be there when it gets there? .22 upper stage TWR, Jeeves. What is the diameter of this vehicle, and does it have a name? This is the Dionysus rocket, I believe. Oh, come on. Stay in your window, buddy. Let's get us some altitude, because .22. That would have been an interesting number to consider before I started my gravity turn. If in fact I needed a gravity turn. 4 meters, yeah. 4 minutes time to apogee at Miko. That sounds like a solid number. We can run with that. 4 minutes. Good gravy. Alright. Wookie, I'm going to trust your judgment on this and just keep building time to apoapsis. It's going to be a very high apoapsis, and maybe we'll walk past it a bit. But man, my gut is screaming no, 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 pitch down, pitch down. We got 40 seconds until Miko here. I would also like to note that this is the first launch we've had with a green clock in the longest time. Alright, go for fairing sep. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Alright, so let's take this back a bit and take a look at where things went wrong. Now, firstly, just pay attention to our thrust-to-weight ratio, which is about 6. And up here at the fairings, you see that cover? Now you don't. That's where the fairings clipped into it initially and started this whole chain reaction of everything just going absolutely wrong. And I think this was due to we really did need a throttle back. There's the fairings bouncing out. They're going to hit the core stage. Boom. And that's where all of that went absolutely terribly wrong. There should have been an engine throttle back before fairing separation, and I think I'm going to write that up as the cause of this failure. What in the hell did happen, and why are we... Service bay collided into payload fairing. Collided into heat shield. Solar panel collided into heat shield. Shit. Looking good so far. Out of Atmos success. What was the accel? Yeah, that would have been a good thing to check, huh? Did I screw this up? I screwed this up. Yeah, those fairings came back and slapped us, but good job, Cosmo. So, after that enthusiastic failure, we would just skip out to our next launch on really the same day. This is a DN6B, taking a little bit of a wiggle off the pad there, but apparently it's just because we heated a launch clamp. There were no collisions recorded, but anyway, this is a life support resupply pod that is bound for Venus. This is one of our mission critical components. It needs to make rendezvous with Ostrich Station in low Venus orbit. Otherwise, we can't send a crew there because, well, they won't have any supplies, nothing to eat or breathe or drink. So we need to get. I would like to have at least one on station with another on standby in orbit, but we'll see how well that goes. We do have a pretty optimal window for these sorts of things, and well, most of this launch went pretty nominally, even though we were yellow clocked pretty hard. It's weird because watching it play back in 4 times time acceleration looks almost normal speed, maybe just a little bit faster than what normal speed should be, or I guess real time is the phrase I'm looking for, but you know. uh, when you beat on an RP-0 save for as long as I have and have part counts like these, it's kind of comes with the territory, and a little bit of a high pitch on this one, um, resulting in me just basically throwing it flat down the horizon for the rest of the booster engagement time. They're off and away. Fairings, thankfully, off and away. Our thrust weight ratio only 1.3 and not 6 something. Means we can pretty much do that. So we will get our comms set up on our life support pod. This pod, of course, is basically the exact same thing that we have sent to Mars for many, many years now. We've actually got 2 of them in orbit of Venus already. They're just their orbital plane makes it impossible for them to rendezvous with Ostrich Station, which has delayed the crew going out there for yet another Venus window. No crew vehicles will be launched this window. We're just going to try to make sure we have all of our infrastructure in place. And there were a couple of realizations on this rocket, which I've basically just copied from built ones. In the Kerbal construction window, I'll just duplicate rocket instead of actually going into the VAB. A lot of pitch down trying to normalize out our orbit, which is particularly terrible. Almost 900 kilometers by 100 and something, more than 140. A pretty not circular, but in orbit nonetheless. Anyway, there were some upgrades that were due for this DN series and this launcher specifically that I guess never got copied over. So I did spend some time in the VAB after all of this, correcting those and updating the save file, removing some built ones and getting more built. We do need to get one out this window, and thankfully with all of the spare DN6 parts we have available, we can kick one out in about another 5 days or so. Mech Jeb was telling us to wait 3 days in orbit before making our transfer to Venus, which is not a very viable option. We have liquid hydrogen boiling off by the minute, so it turned into a node tugasode as I tried to manually figure out a good spot to depart Earth and make our way towards Venus, which, you know, did go so well for me. Maybe I should use more of the tools I have available to me to make these things a little easier, but then the moon got in the way, and well, I just decided, you know what, instead of trying to make this ideal, we're just going to go for some radial out. We've got a lot more delta V in this stage than what we actually need to get to Venus, and while it would be nice to have some of that fuel left over to start our capture burn, we have a heat shield for that, and I wouldn't want that heat shield to feel left out or useless or anything. So after quite a bit of struggling with it, we do in fact get an intercept with Venus. It doesn't matter much because I'm going to miss the node anyway, but we're able to tune it in and get ourselves pretty well lined up actually with our Venus station. So we will I mean, we're not exactly lined up, but I know we're going to need a correction burn anyway because, well, I'm just kind of terrible at these things sometimes. So we will warp around to our node. We'll get angled in. We will get our HG3 fired up with only 2 ignitions. That's disappointing. And here's old me. Ignition. Solid light. Let's hold the maneuver node. Hope for the best, because any correction looks like it's going to have to be made on the back of RCS. I know we can aero capture with this pod. We've done it before. But I would really, really, really like to make sure we can get our inclination correct. Because, God, that would be so much better than having 2 supply pods in orbit and we can get to neither of them. It's just a thing, I suppose. At least something is going fairly according to plan so far today. I think we've seen this exact picture at least 10 times in the series so far. Hit one pod with the other to get them into the right orbit. Orbital billiards. The thought had crossed my mind. It absolutely did. So, yeah, we got like 10 minutes to kill. guess we could time warp through it, but you know. Alright, so we're not launching a cupola today. We are launching a Lima pod. Hopefully that will have the updated hardware that we need. I should really go in and change the save file to this. Build more Dionysus. So I think that's what we're going to do after this launch. We're probably not going to get to the Lima pod today, but we will jump into the VAB. Update this thing for sure. Let's see. Do you shave his balls with a rusty razor? Yeah, throw him in the hole with a captain's daughter? What am I talking about? That's the only things you do early in the morning. What version of the song are you listening to, Palsy? Fair assessment, Wook. Oh, God, we have next to no monies. The one you found on YouTube. Did you just read the captions there, Palsy? Yeah, node in 10 seconds. We're almost a third of the way through. It says we still got 5 minutes to run on this thing, which I'm not entirely sure I believe. You know, you learned something new today. Engine's still holding. That's a good thing so far. Looking pretty good. Oh. Really, dudes? It's like it was listening to me. 1.4 kilometers per second left. There's literally nothing we can do about this. This thing has 700 meters per second in it. Agathorn! You gotta be. Well, I guess we're gonna go back and update the engine. Hey, we're gonna get our explosions today. Oh, God, so much money. Now has accomplished a mighty fail again. Good stream, no man's mission, unfortunately. Glad you're having fun there, Simg. Alright, range safety. Space Center. So, a perfect 2 for 2 this time. Yeah, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later.